Alright, so I made a new blade after breaking the other one because it had warped when I tried to heat treat it, and I barely even flexed on it and it just freaking snapped. So there could have been a crack in it, I don't know. So I made a new blade, and this one happened to warp right off the machine. So there's a little bit of a bend in there. I mean, not a little bit, it's, I don't know, almost 1/4 of an inch. So you can see how warped it is right there. Look at that, awesome. None of the other blades did that, but this was, so I ordered 3 pieces of steel, and this was the 3rd piece of steel. And it must have had some tension built up. So I'm gonna heat this up and see if I can get it straight. And then we'll heat treat it and temper it and hope that it stays straight. I'm just gonna use the little torch for this. Alright, let's see if we can get her straightened out. How's that look? Not quite. It seems like most of the bend is kind of down. And it's probably just gonna freaking warp again when we go to heat treat and quench it. Ow, sucker's getting hot. Barely even touching it. Yeah, it needs to go a little more. Wish I knew. Oh, that looks pretty dang good. So there's a little bit of a gap. Oh, this parallel is like instantly getting hot. A little bit of a gap up at the tip. That is insane how quickly the heat transfers into this parallel. Ow. Hot, hot, hot. All right, I'm gonna let it cool down and we'll take it over to the surface plate and see if it needs any more working. I think it's pretty good though. It looks like it is. All right, I'll bring you back over at the surface plate. All right, so I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there she is. So we've got a little bit of a gap up at the tip, and then flip it over. And about the same, but it seems like there's more gap in the middle. Yeah, definitely. How could that be? So there must be some bend somewhere up in here. Let's see if we can see anything with the straight edge. So, got it kind of right across all the flat. I don't know, I don't really see anything there. How about over here? Oh, there's a little bit of light right there. So, I mean, part of that could be during the machining as it flexed, and it machined more off in here than it did back here. But I think as long as we have kind of the blade straight, I don't know, it seems mostly even. It's obviously not perfect, and it won't be because I'm heat treating in my garage, and there's going to be some distortion. But I did cut it a little bit thick, so we'll be able to, once it's heat treated, I'll be able to flatten it and try to get it parallel and square, and then it should be good. I mean, it's certainly, you can't see anything just looking at it, especially not through the camera, but I can't see a bend in it anymore. Just eyeballing it either. So I think we're probably good to try heat treating it and see if it warps again, which it probably will. And then I will temper it. I'll probably do like 375, which is kind of on the higher end. But that'll, I think, allow me to have a little bit softer blade that I will be able to kind of tweak to where it needs to be. Hopefully, that's the idea anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna go heat her up and see if we can't quench it. I'm only gonna really get this section red hot. I don't want this to be super hard. Then we'll do some sanding and grinding and see if we can get it straight, and then put her together. She'll be done, I think. So here's the broken blade. I don't remember if I showed it or not. But yep, we heat treated it. She warped on us, and I barely flexed it and it broke, but I don't know, it doesn't look like it was cracked. And I mean, it's definitely, she's freaking hard as a rock, which is why it broke, obviously. So yeah, we're gonna try to not do that this time, but it did remind me, I do need to hurry and drill the hole before we go heat treating. So I'm just gonna drill the hole real quick, and then I'll bring you back when we're heat treating. All right, we got round 2 in the making, right? Meow. So I got everything fitted up. I got the hole drilled straight as I can get it. Got my magnet ready. As soon as this is no longer magnetic, we will quench. And I'm gonna wear freaking gloves this time since my rag around the handle did not work out well. So yeah, let's get this thing fired up. And a little bit of oxygen. There we go. All right, ready to rock. Oh, shit. It's the problem with gloves. They're a little unwieldy. So we're gonna try to start down near the bottom and just heat it up evenly as we can. I'm holding the flame, the head of the torch about 6 inches away from the blade, and we're just gonna try to slowly heat it up. You don't wanna go super fast, and you wanna get it nice, as even as you can. It's kind of hard without a forge, but that's what we got, and should be able to do it. It's just a knife blade. If you're trying to do a big old long sword or something, you're gonna probably need a forge. Set up a forge somehow. So we'll get it red hot, and then we're gonna kind of hold it there for a minute or two before we quench. And I do have the oil preheated. I got it up to about 140, and then I took it off the stove, and it should be down around 120. somewhere around there by the time we're ready to quench. And I think that's about what you want. So we're gonna try to get it glowing red. That's pretty dang glowing. We're not magnetic anymore, so we're gonna quench here in a couple seconds. Right about now. And we'll just leave it in there for a second. Shut the gas off here. All right, so here she is. Got a little bit of mill scale. I hit it on the sandpaper just to see if I get an idea how much warped. It looks like there's a little bit of a bow like that, but it's pretty straight. It's straighter than the last one I did. In this one, we've already had to bend back. It is super hard right now. Like that's freaking rock hard. So yeah, we'll go and temper it back, and then we will do our hand fitting and see if we can't get it to be nice and straight. Scrape some of the scale off. The mill scale it comes off, but it's kind of hard because I'm trying to keep the machining marks on the blade itself. So I'll have to kind of gently scrape those off. Probably do it while it's still really hard like this so it doesn't scratch the metal as much. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go temper it. I'm gonna do about 350 and kind of see how it feels. Depends on how warped it is. If it's really warped, I'm gonna have to temper it more so that I can try to bend it back. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll bring you back once we're ready to assemble. But yep, see you in a minute. All right, so finally finished up heat treating. I quenched it, took it inside and threw it in the oven at 390 degrees. I did that, I don't know, I couldn't really find a solid answer. This is 1095 steel. And everything I found online was like 350 to 400 to 450. I finally found one scale, well, not scale, but chart that somebody had written up that kind of gave an estimate of where the hardness would be. And 390, according to that person and whatever 1095 steel they had, was supposed to bring it to about 58 to 60 Rockwell, which is pretty dang hard. And it is hard. It's very, very hard. I can't scratch it with anything. It left a cool finish though in the tempering, but I do have to flatten it. I just do that on my welding table and a piece of sandpaper and just, you know, do that. So this part is gonna end up being shiny, but I like the way it turned out here. I think eventually maybe it'll wear off. I don't know how well that color stays on, but it looks pretty rad, that's for sure. It's pretty straight. I kind of got it straightened out as much as I could before we heat treated it, and it didn't warp, I don't think, during the heat treat process like the first blade did. So I think we're good there. I just need to flatten the edges, and I'm just gonna do that on the sandpaper. And then, because I left it a few thou thick, so it won't fit in here. That way, I just left myself some space to be able to hand fit it to this actual handle. So I'm gonna go do that and I'll bring you back and see what's next. All right, let's see how we did. So I did a little bit of straightening. It's a little bit off. It's just a little bit, I don't know if you can see. So I'm holding it right there where the mounting surface is, and it's not quite in the center. It's close, you can kind of see, but it's not quite centered. I don't know if I can sand that much out. I already tried. And what I noticed is my tool path is a little bit different on this side as it is on this side. Either that or this side cut deeper, maybe? I don't know, but it's definitely different. I'll have to pay more attention on the next blade. Like it's not, I don't think it's something you would notice if you're just looking at the knife. Maybe, I don't know, it kind of stands out. Both sides look pretty neat, but I'm not sure why. It's gotta just be the depth was a little bit off. I should have paid more attention. I don't know, but we're gonna throw it together, see how it works. Let's see this one. Put a dab of grease on it. Just a tiny bit. Oh, one other thing is the anodize. It's got to be pretty dang thick because this pin, this was the loose side for this pin. I had to press it in. It's a lot tighter fit. And it's same with this dowel pin and same with going in on that side. It is quite a bit tighter now.